Alright, update on Stronger. So it looks like we came down and almost filled my price target from the previous video. Now, in my last video, I basically talked about how we have these accumulation ranges between these two different fib bands, and we normally always have like a clear-cut pattern of what happens, and I'll run through that again because I find it quite interesting. So you can see I've got a plethora of fibs across my screen right now, and you can also see that they do quite well define the accumulation ranges that we do have in Stronger. So if I show you what I mean, you can see this one wasn't a fib necessarily, but it was the low that we put in down here. So some of them are lows, some of them are highs, some of them are fibs, but you can see we have these accumulation ranges where it becomes a stable coin for a few days. It pings up to the upper fib band, and then it comes down and breaks below the bottom floor of the accumulation range, and it moves down, it moves down, it moves down until it finds a new accumulation range. And here you can see we had an accumulation range between the 1.618 fib down here and the upper fib, which was the 2.618 Fibonacci within this range. But you can also see there's a green line here. This is basically where it topped out a few times. So this 2.618 fib, but also this green line, we were accumulating. We kept, if I show you again, we just kept on pinging between these levels, crashing our heads against the upper fib band, coming up. And then as you can see, you know, we always do this. We come up, top out at the upper fib level before we come down, take out the lower fib level, and then we break down into the next accumulation range. And so far this has been true with every single breakdown and accumulation phase. If you look at what's going on now for Stronger, I mean, we are basically doing the same thing. We're accumulating since here, we're accumulating in this range, and we've come up twice now, or we're coming up for a second time, to once again bash our heads against this top of fib level. So I honestly do want to see Stronger have a breakout, but so far, at least looking at how this has performed, it does these accumulation ranges and has a breakdown. And you know, if we were to break the trend, we would see a break above the previous rejection point or the previous lower fib band. That's never happened before, so I'd say obviously not financial advice. I've personally been sitting on the sideline for Strong since it minted all the way up here at 150. We're now down here at 55. I'm still looking to get in at some point, but I'm not looking to try and catch a falling knife. And you know, in the last video we were predicting a move back down to this lower fib band, or not a move back down, we haven't visited this region before, but we were predicting a move to the 4.236. That was a 27% drop at the time, and it looks like we came down 22%. So far we haven't 100% filled my target. We more or less filled it, but nonetheless, while we're chopping around in this accumulation range, I would still have to assume that my target is on the table. But to give Stronger the benefit of the doubt, we are seeing a huge pump in volume since we did come down and bottom quite recently down here. If we look at Strong is basically dying. I mean, Strong's only up 5% in the past week, and it's been eating the dust forever. So in my opinion, Strong's going down to $14. But more importantly, if we look at something with value, if we look at Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin is breaking out right now. We had a fake out to the downside and a huge pump to the upside above this asymmetrical triangle. So if we were to take the breakout target, even though we faked out and broke down, you could see this would carry us to 42.5. Hopefully this bullish momentum moving on Bitcoin is going to allow Strong to have a slight rally, which will in turn allow Stronger to have a slight rally. But I honestly don't think the success on Stronger is hindered to Strong, which is quite almost like an oxymoronic thing to say, considering how the two of them are linked. Obviously, Stronger being the new reward that you get when you have these strong nodes. But nonetheless, getting back to the TA, like I said, we keep having these accumulation zones and breakdowns, and we always come back and crash our heads above these top upper level fibs. So at some point this trend is going to have to be invalidated. Like it's going to have to happen, whether we come down to the AB equals CD pattern that I talked about in my last video down to $22, or whether we are going to bottom here and whether we're going to start breaking above these fibs. That is yet to be seen, but keep your eyes on this upper fib level, $61. Like I said, every single time we come and crash into these upper fib levels and then get huge rejections and move back down to the next fib level. So if we are about to break this trend, if we're about to invalidate it, then we're going to be breaking above $61. I don't think we're safe until we take out 61. But on the flip side, if we do take out 61, come back down and back test it, I think we'd have a nice shot of taking a breakout trade to the $84. I personally would not be looking to try and catch the falling knife on this. Like I said, I mean, this minted at 150, it had a huge drop. A lot of people were saying DCA, 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 but I wasn't trying to catch a falling knife, I was trying to catch a breakout, and so far we haven't had that breakout. So just sitting on the sidelines has brought us down to $55. If I have to buy the breakout of $61 when it minted at 150, then so be it, that's still a discount. So keep your eyes on 61. I'm not saying we are going to break out, but the chart is looking a tiny bit better. I mean, we're kind of forming a W, we're getting volume to confirm this recent bottom, so I don't want to get overly bullish at all for Stronger. In the long term, I do think it will perform moderately well, and by long term I mean over the next year it will pump, but at least in the short term we need to be cautious until we take out $61. So keep your eyes on there. If we have a strong pump above it, I'll give you an update on it tomorrow, and then we can potentially see about entering a trade only if we take out $61 to $62. Until we do that, we're not in the clear at all. So that is all I've got for Stronger. Once again, not financial advice. Cowboy out. Peace.